Back, and I have the zipper, and I bought the zipper in the wrong color because I forgot to take a swatch with me, but I'm going to see if it works in here. And if it doesn't work, if it sews, I'll just take it out and get a new invisible zipper. But yeah, we shall see. Maybe I should have got a black one. Probably would have been better off with a black one. Trying to get my watch on. All right, I did press the zipper open. I pressed the zipper teeth open. I'm going to baste my dress closed, and I'm going to press the seam open just so that I can get a nice solid crease down the dress, so I know exactly where the fold is going to be on this dress. Okay, I'm back. So I have basted my back seam closed. I've put a little nip where the end of the zipper should stop. I made sure that the mid-drift in the back was aligned. Turn that over. So there's the two P. I made sure that those are lined up. Now I'm going to go and try this on. So that's what I would do, and that's what I would ask you to do. Try it on and see if this 5/8 of a seam allows from the neck all the way back down. If you have a curve in your back, the muslin should have checked that out, but this is another opportunity to try to see whether or not you would have to change this curve to come back in. And I will be back after this fitting. I am back, and that fitting, I got deodorant on my dress. Look at that. Ugh. That's what happens. But I wanted to try it on inside out just in case I had to take some out the back, and I don't. So I got deodorant on my dress for nothing. So now that I like where the seam is, I'm going to go ahead and take these basting stitches out. All the way down to where the zipper stops. Where I'm almost there. And there we are. So now I'm going to clean out the threads, and I'm going to sew my invisible, stupid watch, tacking button, tack of the nets. So I'm going to take all this out, and I'm going to go ahead and take, starting from the top, I'm going to take my zipper and right sides together. Right sides together. Here we go. I'm going to align the teeth right up against that fold. That's where we're going to go ahead and align this. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to actually pin it, and then I'm going to hand stitch it, baste it, just to make sure that I have it nice and straight. I know a lot of people don't do that, but I am a big proponent of slow stitching and couture sewing, and I just want to make sure that that zipper is fully hidden behind the flap of fabric because it's green, a light green. So I will be back after that. I have basted my zipper in, and it's a little, so everything is looking good. Here is the back. So the seam is working, it's fully closed, hiding the zipper. So now I'm going to open this. I have where I'm going to stop stitching, and I'm going to, with my zipper foot, I am going to sew down one side, and then at the bottom I'm going to come over starting here, and I'm going to sew up the other side, down one side, up the other side. Okay, I have decided to bring the camera over here to kind of give a eye's view as to how I'm doing this. So I sew the zipper down so that I don't have to worry about lining it up as I'm sewing. And I'm holding the teeth over, and I'm using my hand and the presser foot to open up this teeth, open up the teeth, and sew right in this crevice here. Move my basting stitch out of the way. Because I need to pull it out towards the end. There we go. So that'll give you an idea, so that whenever you look at, let's get this over here. When you look at the outside of the, oops, here we go. And we fail. So when you look at the outside, you can see kind of how close this zipper is to the fabric. It's very, very close. So that when it's closed, this folded edge is going to connect to the butt up against the other edge, and thus hide your zipper, and that's why it is called an invisible zipper. Okay, the zipper is sewn in and it looks great. So I've sewn the zipper in, and I've sewn the back seam, and I have a little tiny cut right here where whenever I was snipping, the seam to mark where the zipper ended, I did not know that the fabric was underneath there, so I snipped through it. I put some interfacing on it to hold it together on the other side. I can't see it, but now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take out the basting stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and clean up this edge because it is fraying like crazy, and I'm going to press my seam open so that this back seam is going to lie nice and flat. And then it's time to put on the lining, which is done. Here it is. Okay, here we go. Oh yes, indeed. I just wanted to show this back zipper now that I have it nice and pressed. Look at that back. So here's my waist. Got some little lint on here. And there's the invisible zipper on the back, and the bottom of the skirt is nice and pressed. So now it comes time to put the lining on. So I know I have to take the inside. I'm going to open the zipper. Open the zipper like such. And I'm going to take the lining and match everything up. So I'm going to start with the sleeves. So actually, this is kind of like how you want to end up with the inside of the lining and the outside of the dress. But just like anything else, you have to put right sides together. So I got to get my bearings. So I'm going to go ahead and put the dress right side out. And I'm starting with the shoulder seam. And And I'm going to pin here. Going to the other shoulder seam. Pinning here. Going to go ahead, matching up. There's a notch here. There's a notch on the dress and the lining. I'm going to pin at that notch, and then there's another notch over on the other side. I'm going to line those up and pin it. Then I'm going to pin my neck along the front piece. So when you have it straight, you're going to have like this little, you might have a little gaping. So what you do is you just form a curve with your finger, and when it lies flat, that is where you're pinning. So this side is good. Okay. So the front is pinned. Well, first I'm going to go and sew up the back of this lining. So I need to put my right sides together. And remember, following the grain line, my grain is shedding up this way. See the grain? So since my grain is going this way, I'm going to sew this way. And that means I'm sewing from the bottom to the top. Okay. So I've sewn the back of my dress. Things are fraying. I'm good with that. And so you do the neckline. Let me do this side of the neck. I did the other side. I'm not going to spend too much time recording this section because I already did the back, the other side, but I'm just going to pin it. So I don't know if you could tell, but I ran out of this lining, and so I have this color lining, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the baby blue lining in with the mint lining. I don't even know what color this is. Seafoam green, mint, I don't know. But it's lined. It'll work out. Okay, so I have pinned the lining to the dress around the neck and down the back. No, because I showed that earlier, but you only sew the neck part. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to flip it back out, because around the neck, oh, let me take these pins out here. And okay, here's the neck. So I'm going to trim it. But then what I need to do is I need to stitch this. So here's the lining here. I'm going to pin the lining. I'm going to press the seam towards the lining, and then I'm going to stitch along the lining. This is called, what is that called? Understitching. So I'm going to go all the way around. So understitching keeps the lining under, as it says, it keeps the lining under so that when you wear it, so here's the shoulder, here's the shoulder. So when you wear it, it doesn't peek out when you're wearing it. So that is what lining is. So this is the whole front of the dress. I'm not sure if you can see it. Oh, let me take that out. Maybe that would help. Get the arm. Get the arm. So see, that's the front of the dress. So you see that? All that has to be trimmed away on the inside and has to be pressed under and then understitched. And so the neck of the dress will be done. And I will be back after that. I guess I will go ahead and so show some of that. So I'm going to lay the dress open so that I can see it. Okay. I'm going to get rid of all these extra thread here just to do a little cleanup. And then where it curves, I am going to snip to to release that. There we go. Making sure that, see that? I cut right through it. Because I was going to say, making sure that you flatten everything so you don't clip your lining. And I absolutely clipped the lining. I sure did. So now I'm going to check before I do that again. So wherever there's a curve, you want to clip it so that it lies flat. Okay. So now I'm going to understitch and I'm going to patch up my hole. So I've not stage stitched. I've closed up my little hole that I put there, and I've understitched around the top. So now I'm going to go to the inside here, and I am going to just get rid of some of this excess carefully. Because if I put a cut in my dress, I think I'm done. I would be done. I don't think I'm done. I would be done. So I'm just going to hold it in my hand so that I can just trim some of this out of here. I don't think it would hurt if I left it in there, but and if you've watched any of my videos, my other videos where I'm cutting, or I don't know, it was probably during a Facebook Live, I am not good with cutting with scissors. I am definitely a rotary cutter. With scissors, it's just can't get them straight. So I'm putting down my scissors because I want to make sure that I have everything lying flat. And do not accidentally cut through something. Because last thing you want to do is do something that you know could cause an accident, and you do it anyway, and the accident occurs. Then you're upset with yourself. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But you do it anyway. Okay. So now I am going to go over to the pressing board, and I'm going to press this neckline under, and then get my dress in there. Turn it inside out. I'm going to pin my sleeves again. I'm going to pin them wrong sides together, like such. So here's the frontal seam for right there. Open up that seam. I'm going to pin it. And then I'm going to just baste around there. I'm going to baste the armholes. And then for the back, I'm going to take my dress. I'm going to take it inside out. Okay. So it's upside down now, and I'm going to take my my lining, and I'm going to turn it under, and I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to make sure that the midriff for the lining is matched up with the midriff of the dress so that it hangs properly. And pin that. This is going to be the back of the dress at the top. I'm going to pin that. So pin it under all the way down, and I'm going to slip stitch it. And that will be the end of this video. And the next video will be the choir robe, choir arm sleeves, choir robe, because I like it. Thanks for watching. Loves.